on the U-Report link and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports.
Recently, President Muhammadu Buhari requested that the APC chieftain Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu reconcile members of the All Progressives Congress APC after it became clear that all is not well with the ruling party as members in different parts of the country engage in one crisis or the other. The main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party PDP, is still grappling with the differences that has led to factionalization of the party. The Labour Party, LP, is not only in court over leadership issues, but also had to engage in physical combat recently when a faction of the party attempted to meet in Abuja. All these underscored the extent of intra-party squabbles, which has become synonymous with Nigeria's Fourth Republic. Politicians have continued to disagree, even within the same party, creating factions and many times leading to formation of new alliances that bring up new parties. What is responsible for this trend? How healthy is it for democracy and development of virile political party system? And what impact does it have on the socio-economic development of the country? Stay tuned as we dig into the cause and effects of intra-party conflicts in Nigeria's politics. I am Shegun Ojelade. I'm being joined in the studio by a political scientist, Dr. Sharif Gali. I welcome you to the program.
Thank you, Shegun, for having me.
Dr. Gali is of the Department of Political Science and International Relations of the University of Abuja. Once again, I welcome you to the program.
Thank you for having me.
I also have with me Comrade Adi Shesha Adi. He is the National Vice Chairman, North Central of the Labour Party. I welcome you, Comrade, to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I think I'll start with you, Comrade, because in that opening remark, your party was mentioned. Now, so you are in a very good position to tell us what caused some of the crisis. Why not asking you to be specific now? What are the issues that led to the situation your party has found itself today? Is it ego? Is it the struggle to lead or to serve?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to also thank Nigerians and thank NTA for having me on this program. If you go into constitutions of political parties, you will discover that leaders of political parties prepare constitutions to favor them. If you read a constitution of a political party, you will discover that a chairman, national chairman of a party, will decide to say that for the purpose of his removal, he is the only person that can call for convention to remove the national chairman. How possible is that? Now, that is a clear way to embezzle party funds, and nobody will say anything. Now, you will discover that in all political parties, members are not happy. But because when you read through the constitution of the party, you will discover that they have planned themselves to stay even more than the required tenure. Let me give you the Labour Party, for instance. Labour Party had a convention in Akure. the constitution of Labour Party was amended. Instead of submitting the constitution to INEC within 30 days, the national chairman of Labour Party decided to keep the constitution, to panabit it, to alter what we changed. There's a place, instead of saying national chairman we call for.
You are being specific now. I don't want you to be specific. Okay. I just want you to talk on a very general note. You mentioned the idea that, okay, even the leadership of all the parties use the constitution to favor their stay in power. That is good. What are the other areas that this manifests without being specific to Labour Party?
You see, I have discovered with my days in politics that most leaders in political parties are lazy. And in view of that, they want to stay longer than expected, and their eyes only on money. If you are hardworking, within a given period of 8 years, you finish everything you are supposed to do in office. But they are lazy, but they want to have it all.
Okay.
So that is, and then the moment you discover that you are either a deputy chairman, or you are a secretary, or you are a member of the party, and you are aspiring for a position, and somebody is blocking you, you will not be happy.
Okay. Dr. Gali, he has raised some points,
yes,
but everything boils down to lack of internal mechanism, internal party mechanism to address some of these, internal democracy as they call it, to address the issue of party structure and the election of officers. From some of the work that you've done as a political scientist, what are the causes of inter-party squabbles?
Directly, for us to understand the driving forces, towards intra-party crisis, we first of all need to understand that each and every political party is formed by a group of people who share the same political interest. That is one. This is commonly understood, universally. But we have some instances in which we have people of different interests coming together to form a political party. So as the movement, continues to be, we reach to a point in which this divergent interests begin to manifest, within the political milieu. So when these interests begin to manifest, then we begin to have crisis. So if we begin to account for those particular factors that result in intra-party crisis, you think of something like favoritism. We belong to the same political party,
yes,
but a particular section of the party is being favored over others. That is one. We're talking of constitutionalism. If there is no constitution governing the conduct as well as programs of such party, or even such a constitution exists, but members of such political party aberrate the veritable tenet of such constitution, you're going to have crisis and conflict within such party. Apart from this, you also think, as he made mention of, dictatorial tendencies. You have one man, either the chairman or the chief executive, who want to dictate over all the people, who are legitimate members of such political party. What do you expect? That is what the G7 complain of. We are tired of imposition. We are tired of lack of internal democracy. They opted out of the PDP. That was just the genesis of the crisis. Then apart from this, you also think of, other issues such as interest. Because belonging to a political party, we are expected to share similar or the same political interests. Because if we have such political or common political interests, then the going will really be fashioned in a manner conducive for our political environment.
Dr. Gali,
yes,
from what you are saying, if we say, okay, political parties evolve from groups, yes, associations, yes, or groups of like minds,
yes,
they now come together to form a political party, and in this new alliance, this new party all these interests now begin to rear their ugly heads, like, okay, well, we belong here, this is where we belong, so we should have this, we came in with more. Now, does it mean there is no way that we can have a consensus, or that we can have peace, or we can have anything better than what we are having now? PDP is having problem, APC is now thinking of recourse, Highly members, Labour Party is having challenges. Is it possible, especially, and we are very close to 2019?
Yeah. You see, there is every tendency to make a kind of modifications in terms of political movement and interest, even though it's very cumbersome to remodel, ideology as well as interest, but it is obtainable within a political disposition. Why I said this is that even though we have different political interests, but we are forming a merger, for example, what is the common interest? This is just the common interest to do away, to shop the existing ruling party. Why? Because the programs as well as other issues implemented by this particular party or leadership is not embracing by Nigerians or by all and sundry. So our own common interest is to do away with this particular leadership and establish a government that will be responsive and responsible to all Nigerians. For example, if this is our common interest, then we have to forget about the interests of members of PDP, the interests of members of ACN, Labour Party, or even APC. The political interest now is Nigeria. Okay. How do we move Nigeria forward? Just like the merger formed, prior to the inception of this particular administration. Those who decamped and left PDP, for example, and those who belonged to APC had common interest. What was the interest? To do away with PDP and establish a government. So if we do away with PDP and establish a government of national interest through this particular consensus and make sure that Nigerians are well secure, the economy is doing well, jobs, are provided, we have a kind of gradual political and economic metamorphosis that lead to development.
Now, Dr. Gali just said that the interest should be Nigeria, not the interest of those that are at the helm of the various parties. That brings me to the issue of, I asked at the beginning of the program, is it ego? Is it insatiable appetite to be the boss, to be the leader? The attitude of the Nigerian politician, average Nigerian politician, to want to always be relevant at all times, even when he has nothing to offer anymore. To what extent is the Nigerian politician reformed enough to be able to know that, okay, this is a democracy, not an autocratic system that we're running?
Yeah. We've discovered today that politicians that we have now are selfish. They seek power or seek offices for their selfish ends. You will discover that a chairman of a political party or a secretary of a political party is there not because he wants or she wants the party to move, just because there is a position that is secretary. Some people are not even prepared for such positions, but because you have a position that is called chairman, they want to be there. And even when they are going wrong, because they know they are not removable, they keep staying there. In fact, I always want to beg Nigerians, if you visit our villages, you will lead well. Go to the villages and see the way people are suffering, and then you will not want to see. If you know you don't know, you will give way. But people sit there because the pride that I'm going about with cars following me, that I'm a national chairman, when you know you don't know it, when you know you are careless, when you know you are selfish, give way for a Nigerian that is ready to work. And then age.
Okay.
You have people that are supposed to be leaders in their respective villages or in their respective local government. They will insist to remain there. Why?
Okay. Now, quickly before we go on a break, is this a Fourth Republic ailment, or it's been happening since the First and Second Republic, were the parties of old, the SCNC, the AD, and the rest, were they like that? Or is it just happening in the Fourth Republic?
Every Nigerian must really go back into the abyss or annals of history. Going back to the First Republic, what really transpired within the political environment. As political scientists, we always remember what happened in the Western parliamentary elections, you know, as well as what happened between Awolo and Samuel Akintola. You know, internal party crisis led Akintola to move out of AG, form an alliance with the NPC, you know, as well as form another party, which is the NNDP, you know. So it started, you know, intra-political crisis is natural, it's inherent in a political environment. You can't do away with it because you're dealing with people, and there is this particular argument that, you know, political movement deals with violence, deals with conflict, of course, deals with propaganda, deals with treason. We always say this.
I think we will continue on that line. The fact that, okay, conflict is normal.
Yeah.
But how we eventually resolve it?
Yeah, the only way to...
Dr. Gali, we take a short break.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back. The program is Nigeria Today. We're looking at intra-party squabbles and how we can mitigate or come out of it before 2019. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
Coming up on NTA News 24, Nigeria Today, 7:30, Monday to Friday, with exciting anchors on topical issues. Inspirators, a search for those who inspire others. Business 24, a business magazine program. Late edition repackaged. Fresh and exciting programming on NTA News 24. Stay with us.
You're welcome back. The program Nigeria Today continues. We're taking a look at intra-party crisis in Nigeria. Now, before we went on that short break, we were talking about conflict being a normal thing in any human association, but some conflicts within parties seem to be carried too far. We've had PDP just came out of a major crisis, and we felt, okay, now that they had their convention, all will be well, only for a new group to emerge. And Mr. President is just calling on Asiwaju Bola Tinubu to come and mend the various fences in the APC. Is it not carrying this conflict too far?
You see, political scientists as well as great political thinkers, they all believe that we can actually have a tripartite ways of dealing with intra-party conflict. The first one is dealing with cooperation. When we belong to a political party and we have, you know, crisis within the political party, then we can actually cooperate in order to deal with that particular issue. And that is why the PDP try to, you know, come together in cooperation with some strong stakeholders in order to see how the problem can be solved. That is why the APC also, with the request of Mr. President, calling on Bola Ahmed Tinubu to really come and intervene in this particular crisis. So there is a crisis, but there is also cooperation, or in the long run, the conflict will result in what? Political cooperation, on how the political party as well as the nation will really be moved forward. That is one. Then secondly, there is competitive intra-party conflict as a result of competition. For example, what is unfolding in Kano State between Dr. Rabi Musa Konkoso as well as Abdullahi Ganduje is competition. Why? Because Konkoso worked for the people of Kano State. The last time, I always say it, I traveled to Kano, I thought I wasn't in Nigeria. Because if you see the tunnels, the bridges, I thought I was in Europe, really. So, Ganduje want to emulate Konkoso. but I don't know if the political timetable will really allow him to do as what Konkoso did. And that is why he knows it is very difficult for him to be embraced by the people of Kano as Konkoso was embraced. Because what people are after is political utility. What have you done? What can we consume from the political dividend? And that is what the people of Kano are today weighing. So this is a kind of competitive rivalry, competitive intra-party conflict. As a result of competition, everybody wants to do the best. Then the last one is degenerative conflict. This is the conflict that encompasses a lot of evils. Trivialism. You know, it deals with how a political actor wishing to eliminate his own rival, even within a political party. We've had cases of such, you know, even within the PRP, you know, the NPN, even the PDP itself, where political actors eliminate their own opponents within the same political party. So this is the worst political conflict that will really happen to a political party.
Now the conflicts are there, you know, and we're experiencing it now across party lines. But what should be the attitude of the political actors? You know, people talk about the spirit of give and take. When crises occur the way we see now, there is no way anybody can have 100%. But it's like politicians are not ready to shift grounds at all. So when we advocate dialogue, it's like we are talking to the deaf.
Like I earlier told you, most politicians are representing themselves and not the people. So to shift ground is always their problem. Like if I have my way in politics, I will cancel what they call the campaign.
Oh.
You cannot allow others to work for a political party to succeed. Then you move from party B to come and now become to occupy a very good office when you did not work for it.
Oh.
There are people in politics, their duty is, I must belong. If you check them, when it was PDP, they were in government. Today it's APC, they are in government. But when APC were going around campaigning, they were nowhere to be found. Today, in some states, you have people that are APC members, now that APC is there. Tomorrow, like Labour Party is getting ready to take over Nigeria, they will now start rushing into Labour Party. If I have my way, there will not be anything like the campaign. You stay with your party. Now, you have many political parties. Some political parties are feeding from Labour Party. Some are feeding from APC. Some are feeding from PDP. They engineer crisis inside political parties so that they will feed fat.
Okay.
Today, Labour Party is in a problem that we would have sorted it out long ago. But portfolio politicians, those that don't have offices but are national chairmen, are instigating crisis in Labour Party. That is why we are in crisis.
Okay. Now, he touched on a very controversial issue. But of course, we don't have much time left on the program. The camping. Is it a problem? Is it a problem? Or are we stirring the honestness to say, stop the camping?
I like that area touched by my comrade. You see, in Nigeria, the campaign, you know, is not the worst thing that will happen to a politician within a political party. But naturally speaking, in Nigeria, the campaign should be open. Why? Because we could remember, we can't just have a political party where there is no internal democracy, there is no constitutionalism, and I don't have the right to quit that to exit that particular political party honestly and sincerely. So I think that will serve as an impediment of a political right. But in other areas, for example, you know, where things are working well with a political party, who will wish to decamp? You have a complete rule of law. You have a constitution that is being respected,
yes.
You know, and the political party is really working towards the implementation of its own manifesto, as well as satisfying the needs as well as yearnings of its own electorate. You know, so why should I decamp?
Yeah, you know, the campaign is not the focus of this program.
Yeah.
But we can spend 2 hours talking about the campaign and its manifestations in Nigeria's political system. We will come to that one day. No, but the issue now is intra-party squabbles. Everybody is afraid that if things continue the way they are, PDP is still factionalized, Labour is still having challenges, and even the ruling party, if we pray they are able to reconcile through the efforts of the Ashiwaju. But if it continues the way it is now, that spells a lot of problem for 2019. What will you tell politicians across party line in 1 or 2 sentences?
You don't know 2 sentences. The only thing I have to say is that it's not a suggestion or advice, but just the reality on the ground. APC will definitely have factions, either prior to 2019 or in the aftermath of 2019 elections, because it has happened to other parties. Within APC, we have people of divergent political interests. For example, Saraki is being seen as a threat to the political party. You get the point. Other members of the political party are also seen as a threat, you know, to Saraki himself. The party itself now is becoming like a threat to Rabiu Musa Konkoso of Kano State. He's also serving as a threat to the party itself. Various interests that might really break the political party and lead to the formation of factions later, sooner or later.
We pray that does not happen. Quickly, will Labour Party reconcile before 2019? Just very briefly.
Yeah. We don't have crisis in Labour Party.
Oh.
We don't have. If you have a house and you are renovating,
okay.
that does not mean that there are crisis.
Okay.
We are putting our house right.
In order. Okay.
We don't have crisis. And I must tell you that if not with external forces, the man in question,
portfolio politicians,
I call them, the man in question knows what he has done. Okay. It is a thing that would have sorted it out long ago within the party.
Okay.
But external forces, some selfish few, interfered, and we are still discussing Labour Party. But I will assure you that Labour Party, before the month will end, will come out very, very strong. Because we are built to capture Nigeria.
Okay. I must thank you, Dr. Sheriff Gali, from the University of Abuja, for all that you have said on the program. Thank you very much, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you for having me.
I like your optimism, Comrade Adi Shelsha Adi.
Thank you.
I like your optimism, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you
and
very much.
And your party too, in the build-up to 2019.
I wish I would have time with you once again.
There will be time. There will be time. Well, this is where we call it a date on the program, Nigeria Today, as we discuss party internal crisis. We'll be back tomorrow. Do join us then. Bye-bye.